You're not funny till you move to New York.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Like, you have to go to New York to be taken seriously. If you live in New Jersey, you're just a hack. You're telling fart jokes and shit, you know?
Those clubs in Jersey are brutal. I mean, Bananas is club, the
Bananas
one by Fort Lee.
Brutal.
And it's brutal. You do comedy at a ping pong table.
Did you do the one in Poughkeepsie?
I did the one in Poughkeepsie.
I did that one.
A couple times. That's in a ballroom, Lee.
Yeah.
And it's next to a gas station. That's as good as it gets, dog. And they put you in the downstairs room, and when I tell you it's fucking freezing, it's fucking freezing. They got one diner in the lobby, and it's the worst food you've ever eaten in your life. Even if they give you the 30% off, you'd rather fucking starve to death. That's how bad that place is. And you're stuck up there for 2 fucking nights next to a gas station. That's it.
I worked up there with Tony V. Do you know Tony V?
Fuck yeah.
I worked up there with Tony V. I was the middle. He was the headliner. And some lady kept flashing the light while I was on stage. I was supposed to do, like, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, something like that. And at like 10 or 15, she's flashing the light. And I ignored it. I just did my set. I got off stage. And she goes, okay, I don't know if you know how we do it here, but you can't do that language at this club. And I remember saying, like, what are you talking about? Like, I was laughing because I was already moved to New York. I was already getting work. I already had Sussman as a manager. I was like, what? And she was like, you're going to have to change your act to work. I go, no, I'm not. I go, what are you, the manager here? I go, I got booked here. I got booked here by the owner of the club. I go, I'm going to do my act. They know what my act is. I go, you don't like it? So you want me to change? And like, she looked at me and, you know, like, she didn't expect that. And I just raised my eyebrows and I just walked away. And I just finished out the weekend. And she never spoke a fucking word to me again. She didn't say hi. She didn't look at me.
Isn't that great when you have to fucking...
Every once in a while,
you got to drop a bomb on a motherfucker. But they'll just look at you like, what?
She was talking to me like she was the manager at Wendy's and I was the fry boy. She's like, I don't know if you know how this works here. You know, like, she's like the lady that takes the tickets. You know how the clubs, they're all in a hotel, you know? Like, Bananas was in a hotel, right?
Yeah, both of them.
So she just decided she didn't like my act, you know, because I talked about sex. So she's just decided that I was going to have to change my act. I don't know. I'll never forget her face. I don't know if you know how we do it here, but you can't do with that language here. Oh, fuck you.
Let me tell you something.
It's amazing, those people.
I did the week one time. I was dumb enough to take a week because I was a coked out fucking savage at the Houston Little Club.
The Little Club?
The Little Club on the south side.
Oh, that's the one that Ralphie used to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they put you up in a hotel.
It's in the middle of nowhere, right? It's like...
It's out there. Somebody else took it over now. They sold it and somebody else took it over. That club was there for a long time. They got a different type of audience than West Gray. Let's just say. It was completely different than the last stop. So...
It's like ranchers.
I went there one Sunday night and the owner was there and I did my set. And he goes, when do you want to get booked? And I go, I called Pete. I go, Pete, you mind? He goes, no, take the week. I took the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I do the Thursday night. He's not there. The wife is there. So the same thing fucking happened right before I go on stage. And at that time, my head wasn't in it like that. She came up to me and she's like, listen, I heard rumors, not here. Here we work spotless clean. If you say one bad thing, you're fired.
Oh, those fucking people.
Well, guess what? I shit my pants. I really did. And for the first 15, I tried. I struggled. I was eating death, and then I just let loose, and they went fucking bananas. I said, fuck it. I'll just take the 200 for the night. I don't give a fuck. I walked off. She didn't talk to me. The next night I came in, the husband was there. I pulled him aside. I go, she didn't fucking know. She goes, I explained to her last night what happened. I'm sorry. Danny, that was his name. I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. I go up there, and it was one of those clubs where right here is the stage, and people actually take their drinks, and they're looking at you like this. Mm-hmm. And 20 minutes into my fucking show, I'm looking at this couple, and I'm looking at her, and she's fucked up, Joe Rogan. She's fucked up. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And finally, I keep checking out like every 8 minutes, and she's getting deeper and deeper. She's closing one eye. Once they close the one eye, they're fucked up. And finally, I'll go like this. and she covers her mouth.
No.
And the puke. No. The puke starts shooting on everybody sideways. Like a fucking, what's that thing the kids play in? Like a sprinkler, but just awkward chunks. And then she just let it all out. And she sat there for 5 minutes puking all over herself. Bro, nobody paid. Everybody got up like somebody was shooting. You thought terrorists were shooting in the club. Everybody got up and started running for the fucking door. They had to stop people. She had a puddle of barf around her. The boyfriend left her there. The boyfriend just got up and walked out like he didn't know nothing. Here's 100. I don't know nothing. You didn't see me with me. Give me back my credit card. And I never went back there again. Once somebody pukes on stage, I can't hang out with you no more.
It's amazing, like the bad advice they give you early on in your stand-up career.
I want to shoot them all in the fucking head.
They would always tell you can't make it if you're dirty. Like they tell you can't make it. I mean, I can't remember how many times I heard that. What is this fucking pipe? Holy shit.
Somebody gave me that in Cleveland. That's the savage stuff. We only let them out for special occasions.
This thing's amazing.
Oh, my God.
Did the people at home see this thing?
Oh, that thing is fucking tremendous.
Oh, who did this work? You know,
somebody in Cleveland gave
there's a whole industry, like a whole art form now, glass pipe art form industry. I mean, there's amazing artists that are just doing glass art.
I got another one at the house. The kid gave me that. I don't even want to smoke out of it. It's so beautiful.
Incredible. I need a picture of this fucking
That's
thing.
the Savage. That's the original right there. He's missing the tooth.
I need a picture.
He don't give a fuck.
What kind of advice do they give you for someone puking on you when you're on stage?
They didn't say nothing.
They can't give you advice for that.
There was no advice. I walked off the stage and knew I wasn't going to be ever there ever again. You understand me? That's what I knew for sure.
Look at me, Joey.
There's some places you fucking go and you know you're never going to go back to.
They would just tell you, like, they would give you advice. Like, when you're young, you're starting out. Like, say if you're a young guy and you're a fan
Who pulled you over?
Pryor. Everybody.
Let me know the people who pulled
Everybody.
you over.
Everybody.
That you look at today and go, what's
I don't want to say
happening?
their names because they never made it. They'd never made it. The one guy that did make it, that had already made it at the time, who gave me the opposite advice, was Lenny Clark. It was funny because his brother Mike was a booking agent who's a great guy. Mike Clark, that guy paid my rent fucking many times with his gigs because he was one of the guys that he had a lot of satellite rooms. He had Giggles and Saugus on Route 1. And he had a few outside rooms, and he would book his brother Lenny. And Lenny was on HBO. He had done Rodney Dangerfield special. Lenny was a big comic. He'd done a bunch of movies. Like, Lenny was big. And this is before Lenny's sitcom. Remember when he had that sitcom? And I opened up for Lenny's at Jay's in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. It was in western Massachusetts. It was way out there, like 2.5, 3 hours away from Boston. And people loved it there because it was a real stage and they had real comedy there. Like, they had Lenny Clark when Lenny Clark was big. And I went up and I opened up for Lenny. It was the second paid gig I ever got in my life. And I got off stage, and Mike Clark said, "Buddy, you're fucking funny, but I can't book you. You're too dirty." And he goes, "That bit you do about Madonna, you can't do that. It's like, it's funny, but I know you got to clean it up. You got to clean it up." And so Lenny comes off stage right after his brother gives me advice. Lenny goes off stage. He goes, "Kid, you are fucking hilarious." He goes, "Don't change a thing. Holy shit, that Madonna bit had me laughing my balls off." And he goes, "Lenny, I just told him to stop doing that bit." He goes, "Oh, yeah. You should probably stop doing it. It's going to be hard to get work. But fuck, kid, you're funny." And it was like good advice and bad advice. And I listened to Lenny. I was like, his brother's a great guy and everything like that. But Lenny is Lenny Clark. So to have Lenny Clark tell you you're funny, I was like, oh, wow, that was huge for me. But his brother was giving me bad advice. He's like, but he wanted me to work. It was like, but that was the thing back then. It was in 1989 or 1988. Back then, you couldn't work if you were dirty. Like, there was no work. Everybody wanted to get on the Tonight Show. No, there was a few HBO specials that had been given out, like DeKinnison and a few other people, but you had to be somebody to get those. If you wanted to be dirty, you had to be somebody already. So what it was a lot of these guys who were, quote unquote dirty, they would have clean sets that they would do on the Tonight Show or Letterman or whatever, and then they would have a few dirty bits that they would reserve for a nightclub, and they would close with those bits. So if they ever did an HBO special, that's when they would do those.
I knew I had to be dirty 3 years in. Like, I was just lying to myself. People would come up to me with that fucking bullshit. And I gave it a New York try.
I tried it.
But it just didn't work out for me.
I'm not gonna ask you to do a joke, but like, what was a clean premise for you? I don't even know a clean premise for you, to be honest.
That's old weed.
Oh, is it? All right.
A clean premise in those days was...
Pen.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
A clean premise.
Hold on. A clean premise in those days was a Godzilla.
Oh, look
What
at
would
that.
Godzilla do?
Oh, you gotta look at this thing. You guys are advanced here.
What would Godzilla do if he came back into the Hudson? You know, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was brutally terrible. I had a thing about a ship going into the Hudson. I had a thing about speakers. You could put them back in the windows because Bose, something electric. It was just a horror show. It was a fucking horror show. You know,
I can't imagine you making electronic jokes.
Joey used to try to be clean in the early days when I first saw him.
It was a nightmare.
Joey was trying to deal with agents and managers. When you first moved to L.A.,
oh my God,
when we first became friends.
Nightmare.
Yeah, you were dealing with all
It was
those
a
people.
nightmare. And one day you go, you know what? It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. As long as you're you.
If it's 2 in the afternoon and you ain't high, go fuck yourself. Get out of my face. I want you around me like I want cancer in my ball sack. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna come around here looking at me with your fucking wide eyes, thinking that I'm gonna reform. Go fuck yourself. My morning starts at 5:30 a.m. Either you're there or you're square. You know what I'm saying?